I've never done this before. How do you start these things off? This is my very first YouTube specific video, so bear with me. My name is Evan Naka. I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer, I'm based in Los Angeles. I've been doing this for, I don't know, like 7 years. This started off as a hobby and now I'm turning it into a career. It's kind of gotten to the time where I want to give back a little bit. I want to take the knowledge that I've learned and share with all of you. I'm a lot like all of you. I didn't go to school for this. I didn't go to film school. I didn't go to photography school, if that's a thing. I didn't do any of that. I learned right here on YouTube, just like you're doing right now. And it got me to this point in my career. I've worked with celebrities, I've worked with influencers, I've worked with big brands, I've worked with small brands. I'm now at the point where I'm having brands reach out to me, and now it's time for me to give a little bit back to you. And if you learned something along the way, that's awesome. So what are we doing today? I got two amazing cameras sent to me by Sony EDU. We have the Sony a9 Mark II. A lot of you know the a9 Mark I. This is the Mark II, the next generation. It is a sports camera. I'm not a big technical guy. All I know is I want the camera that's gonna get the best shot for me, and what is that camera? We're gonna try that out today. The other camera that they sent me was the a7R4. Now, I told you I use the a7R3 primarily. Now that camera already is a robust, detailed camera. It shoots 42 megapixels, tons of information. This one shoots over 60. That is unbelievably overkill if you are just gonna be posting on Instagram. But let's say you have images that you're not sure what the frame size is gonna be, and you have to shoot a wider angle, and then maybe you're gonna use it for Instagram, maybe you're gonna use it for a billboard, maybe you're gonna have to do vertical and horizontal for that one image because it's so good. This is the camera that could help you with that. When you crop in, you're not gonna lose a ton of information like you would for the a9 Mark II because it's a 24 megapixel right here. It's more than enough. Professional photographers have been using cameras with that kind of detail for everything. For commercial work, for portrait photography, for everything. But this gives you just a little bit more information to work with. Maybe a lot more information. So we're gonna test these two cameras out in my studio / garage today. I'll see you in there. Dude, this kind of a setup is really difficult. I don't know, like, I'm only using a Sony camera with a vertical grip. I do have a monitor. Here, let me show you guys what I'm doing here. You can see my setup right there, right in the frame. So I got a Sony a7R3, I got my small HD, and I got my shotgun mic that is, how do I see that? Right there. But I can't find my extra cold shoe mount, so I just gaffer taped it to the top of my monitor. Not a very good way to do that. Yeah, I don't know how Peter McKinnon does this. My arm is already tired. It's only been like 2 minutes. He uses a Canon 1DX Mark II. He must have like freaking guns or something, whatever. What we're gonna do is we're gonna drop bottles into the water and trying to catch that, you know, like the bubbles coming off of it. If you've ever seen any of my photography, you always I usually try and incorporate motion into whatever I'm doing, whether it's with people or it's with products. So today is no different. I'm gonna stand up here and I'm gonna drop the Topo Chico. That's what we're using today. We're gonna be using Topo Chico. Maybe this is better. If I hold the lens, does that work? Kind of works. I don't know. We'll get better at this. Guys, help me out. If you have a better way to do this, I know I have a Gorilla Pod, but I don't want to go get it. Okay, so we have that. So let's get our Topo Chico, and we'll get the rest of this all set up. Cute little bottle. I'm gonna put you guys back on this handy dandy tripod that I have going on here. This mic does not want to work with me at all. But I forgot to say, cue the time lapse. Did it. We have the aquarium that was already filled. We have two strobes, both capable of high-speed sync. These are the Perfect VC 600 high-speed TTLs by Newer. And then the reason that I have this guy right here, this green screen, is because what I want to do is kind of keep it on brand for Topo Chico right here. And I'm gonna change this green into a yellow background. I don't have a yellow backdrop, else I would just use that. But this will probably work just as well. And that's just so that I can have like a nice, cool yellow backdrop when I'm dropping everything in, but I'll change the colors in post. The lens I'm gonna be using today, I'm gonna use the exact same lens. There's no bias based on what I'm using. I'm gonna use a great lens, which is the 24-70 G Master by Sony. It's like a good all-around lens for anything between your landscapes, your weddings, your events, your portraits, your parodic photos that I'm gonna be shooting today. Invest in your lens, guys. The bodies are something you're gonna upgrade all the time. Lenses last much, much longer. I've had this lens through, I think, like 3 different cameras. I just sent my buddy a text message because I'm filming my first YouTube video. I don't know if you can read that. Is that gonna focus? I can't tell. Yeah. All I'm doing right now is making sure that the Topo Chico is gonna be in focus, which is why I put it in there first. I'm gonna put on manual. I don't wanna have like any kind of focus racking happening. And the bottle doesn't fit right now, but what's gonna happen is I'm gonna drop it in at an angle, and I think it'll look just fine. First up, we have the a9 Mark II. This is what happens. Can you see that? It's sick. That's exactly what I wanted, right there. Look at that. Oh, this is gonna be tough because I don't know if the a7R4 is gonna be able to match that speed, because I feel like I missed a lot of key opportunities, and this thing was firing at a fast rate. I'm actually gonna take away the green background because I actually think it might look even cooler with just pure black, and that'll be something else you'll learn on this one. Oh. I almost lost my camera, but you see those reflexes? Like a cat. All right. Next up, we're gonna do the Sony a7R4 and see how that compares. Pro tip number 2, get your lens cap out of there so it doesn't get wet. I'm an idiot. Oh, by the way, settings for this have been the same for each one. I'm shooting at about 3200 shutter speed, about at a f10, and ISO is 640. Now the a9 Mark II actually has a higher ISO range, which would be benefiting in a dark area, or if you're shooting at night, but since we're using strobes, it doesn't really matter too much right now. You can already see how much slower it is. It's about half the speed of the a9. But remember, a9 is meant for that. This isn't really meant for that high-speed photography. This shoots in super fine detail, and it's gonna have way more information to be able to mess with images. So who knows, if it catches that moment, then we're good to go, and then this is the winner. Oh, it's so close. We missed it by a hair. Let's do it again. See, we keep missing that moment. Maybe I can time it better. Ooh, that's the one. So right off the bat, I can already feel that it's gonna be a lot more difficult to try and get that shot. I had to do that way more than I had to do with the a9 Mark II. Now, if this was a real commercial shoot, I could be here forever trying to nail that shot. With an a9 Mark II, with the right lights, the right setup, that thing is gonna be the choice. But I'm gonna shoot the black backdrop right now just to see if we can get some cool contrast, and then I'll take it to post. So that pretty much wraps it up here in my studio. It's a garage. So let's take all these photos to post and see how they do. Okay, we're back in my office. I'm not gonna waste a Topo Chico. You crazy? I'm gonna enjoy this while we edit. All right, so let's open up all our files in our Lightroom. First round of photos that we took are gonna be from the a9, and then the second round is obviously gonna be from the R4. This is the first one. These are all A9 Mark IIs. See, there's a good one. Let's keep that one. That one's pretty cool looking. I'm just going through and I'm gonna figure out, all right, which ones do I really like? Which ones just are duds? Remember, not every photo is gonna be a winner. That one's pretty cool, but it's kind of low. Let's not take that one. We're still in, oh, that one's sweet. We're still in the A9 Mark II right now. Okay, here's the blackout photos. That one's pretty sweet. Needs to be brightened up a little bit. Let's see what else we got. Turned a little bit too much. We're not hitting it. Oh, I kind of remember this. There we go. A little dark, a little dark. Here we go. That's probably gonna be the winner. I bet you I stopped there. Oh, never mind. That's the winner. I like that one a lot. Yep, do it. Okay, and then here's the R4 photos. See the very beginning one, so I can already tell that from the A9, I was able to capture the photo that I was at least in frame way sooner. I'm going through these and the R4 still hasn't been able to catch that moment. See, all of these are just out of frame, missing it. That money shot that we're looking for, it's not here yet. Ooh, okay, not bad, pretty close. Should have gotten rid of some of those bubbles behind the thing, but whatever. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Oh, close. Tried dropping it vertical, that didn't really work. All right, so those are gonna be the shots that we have for that one. And here is the blackout photo. Nope. Ooh, okay. Oh wow, that's all I took. Interesting. Here we go. So this is where I think we're gonna see the major difference. We have this Topo Chico right here, which is shot by the A9 Mark II. And when I brighten it a little bit, it already starts looking a little fuzzy to me. Doesn't it look a little fuzzy to you? Now I go over here, and this is the A7R4. And this is without any adjustment, so it's too dark. But if I want to brighten it up, even just a little bit, it doesn't lose that quality like it does in the A9 Mark II, and that's the big difference here. What about the photos with the green? Here you can see, same idea. So with the green backdrop, in my opinion, and I'm gonna convert that to yellow later, is I think that the A9 actually did a better job because it was brighter. Now, with the A7R4, and this could be a settings thing on how bright I had the lights and everything like that, but from what I'm seeing, the A7R4 did better with the low light because I'm able to pump up that brightness a lot better without losing any of that information, and it doesn't get all fuzzy or anything. When I try and do that with the A9 shots, it already looks like it's losing quality. Whereas when I do it with this one, the R4, I can brighten it up to about here. I'm putting it up almost a stop and a half. And it looks great. It looks really good. Now if I bring down the shadows, bring down the black, how about some clarity, texture, do this. All right, so now that we have our selects, I'm gonna go ahead and take it into Photoshop. I'm gonna do a quick edit just to show you a little bit about my editing process, and so we can see what the final images look like. So here's the fun part. So now that we have our images in here, let's see if we can play with the colors enough so that I can achieve that yellow background that like I was saying before. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward through this a little bit as I just pinpoint the yellow that I want. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and selective color. I'm gonna mess with the yellows just a tiny bit more. Let's get rid of that pukiness and let's bring it really more like a Topo Chico, kind of more of like a sun yellow. So it's not just pure yellow, but it still has like an oranginess to it. I'm liking this better. So right now I did a terrible job of getting rid of those bubbles. I squeegeed it to try and get off in the initial, but after every drop it created more bubbles and more bubbles. And I just really want it to be just a smooth yellow background, so I'm just gonna go ahead and clone stamp all those out. It's usually the easiest way for me. So I'm gonna fast forward through all this because this is boring. Since the aspect ratio is going to be 9:16, I'm just going to go ahead and crop it so I don't waste any more time. And then I can show them side by side together. That looks about right. I want to make sure it captures some of that wave. Oh, that's pretty good. Now, let's just fill in the rest of this white area. It's still looking a little pukey to me. So I'm going to bring it, just make it a little bit more yellow, not so green. Oh, that's great. That's pretty cool. But it's not what we're going for. Stay focused. So like right now, I'm just really playing with the sliders and just trying to really just nail down that yellow. And that's our final image. This is the yellow background now. And so we're gonna go and do pretty much the same exact thing except for playing with colors for the black background. This one will be a little bit easier because I did a better job of getting rid of those bubbles in the first place. So I'm gonna fast forward through this because you've already seen this process. And there you have it. There you have your black background and then you have your yellow background. I think they both came out great. In the end, I decided to go with the R4 for both images for this shoot particularly. I think I just hit the timing a little bit better. I think if I had it maybe a little bit brighter in there, the A9 Mark II would have shined a lot more. But when I took it to post, I wasn't able to change it as much as I was able to as the R4. And for this type of photography and how it was lit, it gave me a lot more freedom with the R4 images. So that's why I decided to go with them. Thank you all so much for watching. This was a lot of fun. This is my first YouTube video. I hope that I have a lot more to come. I can't wait to see. Please, comment down below if you have questions, let me know. I'll be posting these final images again on my TikTok and my Instagram. And until I see you all next time, I'm Evan Naka. Thank you so much. Take care.